What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I just got a quick one for you. The Dolphins made a roster move. They actually executed a trade, so we're gonna get into that. But real quick, before I do talk about that, because that's really, I was gonna say that's really the only big news or the only news, but there is the thing I'm about to mention that I don't even really want to talk about anymore is the Deshaun Watson rumors are really stirring up again. There are several articles that have been put out today regarding it and linking Miami to the Dolphins because apparently the Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers are the two front runners to land Deshaun Watson. And it's nonsense. Look, I mean, you guys know how I feel about it. At this point, I'm not really even going to say anything more until it actually happens. But you guys know how I feel. I think that it would be a waste. I don't think that it would be the right move for the Dolphins for a number of reasons, because that means you're going to be giving up on Tua. That means that you got to trade away significant draft capital. You got to take on that monster cap hit. He's got his legal issues, whether they get resolved or not, etc., etc., etc. So I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. That's me. But, so they are. Like I said, that's all I'm really going to say about it until it actually happens. Otherwise, we proceed as we have been. And, Tua's been looking great. And that's my expectation for right now. All right. Moving past that, because we do have some additional news. The Ravens trade offensive lineman Greg Manx and draft pick to Dolphins for a late round pick. All right, and so the Miami Dolphins are adding even more offensive linemen prior to Tuesday's 53-man roster deadline. Miami acquired Greg Manx and a 2022 7th-round pick from the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a 2022 6th-round pick. The 7th-round pick Baltimore dealt to Miami was the one the Ravens acquired from New England Patriots in the Shaun Wade trade earlier this week. Manx, who was on the roster bubble in Baltimore, has a new home in Miami. The 29-year-old Manx has played 6 years in the NFL, all with the Texans, playing 58 games and starting 28. He has played center and right tackle, but was listed as a guard on Baltimore's roster. There is familiarity with Manx on Miami's coaching staff, as the offensive lineman was in Houston with Dolphins co-offensive coordinator George Godsey. I mean, look. At the end of the day, bro, this is how I view this. The Dolphins' offensive line is not good enough. The Dolphins know that, but they're just doing half-assed fucking approaches to solving it and to fixing it. And, you really at some point got to question and wonder or not whether they're doing this shit on purpose, especially when the behind the scenes stuff about the tensions between Brian Flores and Tua, between Brian Flores and Tua's family, and everything, the underhanded shady things that Brian Flores has done behind the scenes to try and undermine Tua as the Miami Dolphins quarterback. The fact that he never wanted Tua to begin with, and that he's been spearheading the Deshaun Watson trade, since it started, really, right? So, you just got to wonder if at some point, like, they're just intentionally not taking care of either that, or they're just stupid and actually think that, what they have is going to work, and that they can, get the most out of these guys, and they're really going to play up to the level that we want and hope that they play up to. But this is, again, just another half-assed fucking approach to fixing this offensive line, and they had to give draft capital away for him, yet again. So they get it, okay, they got a 7th-round pick as well, but, they didn't have any 7th-round picks next year because they already gave those all away, one of which being in the Greg Little trade. And so they get one back, but they gave away a 6th-round pick, right, to get him. So, and again, this is another guy just like Greg Little who, and according to, every report that I've seen, this dude is on the roster bubble, so they didn't have to even trade for him. They could have waited until he got cut. They could have, but they decided to give away more future draft capital. He's been in the league 6 years. He hasn't done shit. The Ravens obviously didn't like him at all because he spent his entire fucking career with the Texans and apparently just came to the fucking Baltimore Ravens this year. So had to have been, relatively recently. And, it's just like, I'm just so annoyed and frustrated with this. Like with their lack of care and concern and urgency with this offensive line. And I'm telling you, bro, like, it's not going to be just the offensive line. It's going to be injuries. It's going to be the lack of quality depth on this roster. It's going to be a couple things, primarily the top 3 concerns I have, as I mentioned a million times. But, dude, I'm telling you, man, this offensive line's not going to fucking cut it, bro. And it's going to be, my top 3 concerns: offensive line, overall depth on the roster, and the injury concerns. I'm telling you, man, those are going to be the downfalls to the season. And people are going to, look at this and be like, you're just being a hater, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bro. Okay. Well, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a disaster. And it's going to be the downfall of the season. And then we're going to be hitting the reset button again after the end of the season. And that's the last thing I want. And that's why I put this out there and I speak the truth, because I try and hope that, it steers. I mean, I don't have any effect, obviously. First of all, I don't have any say in what the organization does. And even trying to educate people and get people to see the reality for what it is, it doesn't work, because most people are either just too stupid or choose not to fucking acknowledge and accept reality for what it is, because it's not pleasant and it doesn't suit their precious fantasy world that they live in, right? The narrative that fits that. So anyway, for me, it's just frustrating because I don't see it working, and I think I see it really being, like I said a bunch of times, the Achilles heel and the thing that causes the downfall for the season. And that's, it's those top 3 things: the offensive line, the depth issues, and the injury/COVID issues that have prevented me from giving them more than 9 wins and on the season. And I still think that there is a good chance that, they only win 6 games or whatever, because of those other factors and so on and so forth. I mean, look, there's a ton of potential on this team. I just unfortunately don't see them living up to it because of, the full picture. Like I said, and when it comes to Tua specifically, it's not the player or the person, it's the potion. And I just think everything is a toxic mix. And I mean, and this Deshaun Watson shit, just one more time, it's just ridiculous. But the fact that we're even here again, and look, if they did do that, I mean, like I said, I'm not even going to really say anything more on it until it actually happens. But if they do that, I mean, what do you say? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Dolphins fans out there that are like, if it happens, that are like, yeah, fuck yeah, Deshaun Watson, we're going to the Super Bowl. And, there's going to be the Tua haters that are like, fuck Tua, see, but I mean, it's going to be a disaster all around if they do that. So I hope they don't do it. I hope it's just more clickbait, bullshit rumors. But it won't go away. It literally just won't go away. Even after we fucking, for a couple weeks, we had some silence on that issue. So, well, it was nice while it lasted, I suppose. Anyway, that's, like I said, that's really all I got. I'm gonna get out of here before this video gets too fucking long and I start going off on fucking crazy tangents and shit. I'm just frustrated, man. I'm frustrated with how they, like I said, the lack of urgency and shit for this offensive line. And I mean, their efforts have been half-assed at best. And I'm not quite convinced that even, because we've talked, and just to kind of wrap this up, we've talked about on Reason Show quite a bit lately. I don't think that, I don't even think the interior of the offensive line is as stout or as solid as, what some of my homies seem to think it is, right? Like, I mean, that's me. And of course, you know, everybody's just going to be like, you're just being a hater. But, you know, and look, I've said Dieter has been a pleasant surprise, but he's also had his struggles. So has Kinley. Hunt has had some bad reps. The tackles are going to be a disaster, but I don't even think that this interior offensive line is good because, again, it's only been preseason, bro. What have they legitimately proved to us? And, you know, in the one real example where they had to prove something to us, it wasn't good, right? When they actually went up against the first team defensive line of the Bears, right? Other than that, against the Falcons, they rested a bunch of their starters. Both games, it's preseason and very vanilla work, right? Not to mention limited action for the starters in both of those games. Like, I mean, anyway, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to end it with that. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.